So another cool thing about having that buy one get one free at the time is I figured since I have more than 2 HissTanks, more than 4 HissTanks, I have 6 HissTanks. I figured what better way to use 2 of the HissTanks than to pay tribute to my best friend, one of 3 Knights, and another great friend and great commenter and great supporter of my channel. I really appreciate him as a friend as well, Cobra Chris31. So I figured I would ask them for some help, because with the Cobra HissTank version 5 you get quite a bit of stickers, and you're actually able to custom the stickers to your liking. I've seen some people that have used names of daughters. I've seen another thing that said something about get off my lawn. So there's just so many different things that you can do. So one of the things I was able to do, thanks to Cobra Chris31 and one of 3 Knights and their suggestions, was come up with some custom HissTanks here. So the first one we're going to look at is for Dave, one of 3 Knights. So there we have one of 3 Dave on one side. Then on the other side we have 2 best buddies. So hopefully that's coming clear there. Then for Cobra Chris31 we have Cobra Chris31 on one side, Cool Chris on the other side. So thank you Dave, one of 3 Knights, and Cobra Chris31 for helping me custom my Cobra HissTanks version 5. So another idea I thought was really interesting was with the HissTank that I have here, that's supposed to be the closest thing that I have to a version 1 HissTank. You can see it has a see-through canopy, and with the other ones, version 5s, that don't have the see-through canopy, I thought it was a cool idea that somebody came up with how they end up seeing, and that they actually have a better view of the battlefield. Because how you can see the canopy is that it does have these kind of targeting systems right there and on the top there. But imagine if this, when it was in attack mode, it turned on and all these sides all had cameras actually on the outside of the HissTank version 5, and this all became like the sides of what's happening and the back of what's happening, and they just are able to control what part of the battlefield that they're seeing thanks to the much larger display area and the cameras that are on the outside of the HissTank version 5. So I thought that was a really cool idea, and if we really think about it, we are kind of getting that now with a lot of cars that we have nowadays that have the backup cameras. So here's a better look at the inside of the cockpit. It's pretty detailed, but he does kind of sit in there just kind of flat. It doesn't have really any room for him to bend his knees or anything. So I don't know how comfortable that would actually be, but then there's a closer look at the stickers. Very detailed. So here we are on the back side and underside of the HissTank version 5, which has another hatch. It's nowhere near as big as the HissTank version 2, or can hold anywhere near the amount of people that the HissTank version 3 could hold. But it does have a hatch right here, and so we'll open that up. And as we were talking about how comfortable it would be, there's actually 2 different ways that you can put in your HissTank driver or any other G.I. Joe figure or Cobra figure. Some people has been thinking maybe this is more of a prison type thing. When you capture somebody, you don't really care about how comfortable they are or not, so that's one way. But most people think of this as this is where the person that's controlling the guns above sits. And so we'll show you one of the ways that you can do that is to bring down the bar right there, put in your figure upright like this, then bring up the bar, and they can kind of hold it like that, and then you can close it up like that, or let's say that way didn't look comfortable at all, the real way that I believe that you're supposed to do it is with the driver upside down, because it looks more like there's a headrest. So there's that headrest. So then that's why I believe he's actually, I don't know how he would do this. He would have to be very, very strong or something. But he's supposed to go in like this, and then the bar goes over his chest like that. So it looks like in order to get him to fit in there, you will have to remove this backpack. So it's very cramped as well. But once you remove the backpack, you then should be able to lift it up and close it up like that. Now while we're back here also, I wanted to talk about how there are these kind of prongs sticking out right here, and then there's also, so besides these prongs here, you also have some more prongs or loops here, and then you also have these cables here that attach to the bottom, and that could be just for, you know, some added detail. But since we have not seen the Cobra Hiss Attack Scout released yet, and I still don't know if that's coming out, but with there being another HissTank variant of the number 5 being painted, I'm hoping Crimson Red, very much like the Crimson Red that we were going to get on the little HissTank drone that was going to come with Cobra Commander when it was originally a mail away. So seeing that we're getting another repaint, hopefully we will see the Cobra Hiss Attack drone released, and what would happen is you would attach it to either this prong, or maybe the whole part of this would actually be attached to it. And so far I've only seen pictures of the Attack Scout being attached here and then having this up. But hopefully if it's able to go down into this position, maybe there's still enough room for it to touch the ground, but I think it still floats above the top. So if that is the case, it's still kind of cool. It'd still be nice to see this go into battle and be able to drop another part of itself to split off, because we had quite a bit of those vehicles in the 80s line, so it would be nice to see them doing it also for this new line of G.I. Joe. Now, it does look a little odd because it just kind of floats above, and I don't know about you guys, but when I first saw pictures of it and heard what they planned to do with it and everything, I was thinking it was somehow going to be towed along, or maybe how there's this room right here that it would somehow slant that way. So seeing it up here, you know, does look a little odd, especially when you have it in the attack mode and it's even higher up. But then the idea of it dropping, you know, down like that, and then swoom, and going and surprising the people that may not expect from the front view another attack coming at them. I think that still sounds very, very cool. So still hope we get to see it.